lot of red out there. Seems to be a lot of red. It's a lot of red out there. It's a lot of red. It's a lot. Bitcoin's up. Let's take a look at gold. Gold's red. Wait for 3 signals to buy coronavirus battered stocks, says BNY Mellon strategist. This is from Barbara Kohlmeier of MarketWatch. President Donald Trump's coronavirus press conference has not stemmed the global equity slide as worldwide infections climb. Meanwhile, one patient in California is of particular concern because officials don't know where he got infected. This is where it gets scary. Some believe the next big fall in equities will come when we see a cluster of U.S. cases, which may partially explain why that popular pastime of buying stocks on any dip seems less popular lately. Citigroup strategists are advertising against buying equities right now on the view that if a Federal Reserve lifeline is coming, it may not happen right away. Wow. Citigroup strategists are advising, not advertising. Holy smokes. I thought it said advertising. Advising against buying equities right now. Interesting. Our call of the day comes from BNY Mellon's chief strategist, Alicia Levine, who has advanced for those wanting to know when to buy beaten down and down stocks. She said they first need a solid view on where the virus is headed. If you think it is essentially a short-term problem, a hit to growth, but then it is over by the summer, then you're fine going into the market. But if you think it is worse than that, then you have to play that out, she told MarketWatch. How can anybody predict when this is going to get better when it's only just spreading? Let's take a look at this for a second. I want to make sure people understand this. I've been reporting this for 5 weeks, okay? I started reporting this in January. When I reported this, there was 300 cases, and I believe there was 1 death. There's now 2,817 deaths in 5 weeks. 33,350 have recovered. 82,723 that are infected right now. And this number is growing globally. So this is the concern. Yes, out of the closed cases, 92%, 33,350 have been recovered or discharged. 2,817 have passed away. 36,167 closed cases. So only 8% of the people that have been considered closed cases have passed away. 92% have recovered or been discharged. That's pretty decent. I mean, 8% is still scary. Active cases in serious or critical condition is 8,471, and in mild condition is another 38,085, which is 82% of those. So it's very scary because we know there are now 8,500 people almost in serious or critical condition and already over 2,800 who have passed away, which means there's the potential for thousands more to potentially pass away. And I predicted that this would go into 100 countries when it started. We have now officially hit 50 countries. It's official. The coronavirus has now hit 50 countries. We are literally having an outbreak in South Korea where there is 1,766 infected now, 505 overnight, and 13 deaths. 18 in serious or critical condition, and 24 recovered. 705 on a cruise, the Princess Diamond. 4 total deaths from that cruise. 36 in serious or critical condition, and 10 recovered. Italy now having their own outbreak of 650 cases, 180 new ones overnight, 17 deaths in Italy now, 5 new deaths overnight, 45 recoveries, and 35 in serious or critical condition. Iran is having an outbreak, 245 people now having it, 106 overnight, 26 deaths now in Iran, 7 new deaths, 54 total recovered. Japan has 207 cases. Where the Olympics are supposed to be held, that's not looking very likely every day when these numbers continue to grow. Just saying. 35 new cases, 4 total deaths, 1 new death, 32 recovered, 13 in serious or critical condition. So those are countries where like it is starting to spread. In Japan, Iran, Italy, South Korea, and obviously China, where they're saying that they had 450 new cases overnight. Meanwhile, in South Korea, they're saying 505. So I don't know if I can honestly believe that. How could South Korea get more cases overnight than China? That's alarming to me. Either China is starting to contain the problem, or they're not reporting the real numbers. Or South Korea is having a massive outbreak. Because how are they getting more cases overnight than China? Mind you, China had 32 deaths overnight. Iran had 7. Italy had 5. Japan had 1. So these are the alarming figures that I'm looking at, trying to get like my head wrapped around what's going on here and how it's going to affect the markets, because we're now in 50 countries. And I only feel like when I look at these numbers, they're only spreading. Like USA now has 60 cases. 6 recovered, 60 cases in the United States right now, 92 in Hong Kong, 96 in Singapore. And clearly it's having an effect on the markets today because everything is red. Everything is red. We're going to look at this. Everything's red, guys. Look at this. Dow Jones down 500 points. S&P 500 down 56 points. NASDAQ down 190 points. Global Dow down 70 points. Gold is down. Oil is down. Everything's down. So what is that telling you? What is the safe haven when everything is down? Coronavirus stocks? We can look at the coronavirus stocks. I mean, we've been looking at them all day. But what are you going to do? You're going to chase these? CODX has been up and down. Went as high as 1967, has come back down to 1411. So you got to be careful with these stocks, guys. Yeah, they're on a tear, but you don't want to chase too high because they can come back down too. Lake at $18 had a huge run up to 23. Now back down to 18. So these markets are extremely volatile right now. Look at Baby. They've been huge darling for our community. Went all the way down today to a low of 95, which was obviously the time to get in. It's bounced back up now to 110, down 9%. But nobody knows how the long-term effects of this virus is going to affect these markets. Nobody does. AEMD, which was my number 1 pick for February, started like a rocket, went down after they got halted by the SEC, had a huge run today, up over $3, went to as high as $3.09. Now they've come back to $2.55. So the key right now is to try to find the bottom and don't chase because the markets are highly volatile right now. Very, very volatile. Don't get caught buying a stock at all-time highs, guys, because they have a tendency to bounce back down. Yes, and then they do go back up after that. But a lot of times they have a tendency to go up, come back down, go up, come back down. These are the pivots that I'm looking at, how they're just going up and down. It's very choppy. Up, down, down, up. So the next leg looks like it probably will come up. But IBIO is one that's up 128%. Pretty amazing. TNPX is another one, coronavirus stock at $1.51, just on a tear today, up 67%. So the coronavirus stocks are a way to play, but another way to play is to say, okay, I really like MasterCard, and MasterCard's been on a tear, went all the way up to 340, and now they just dropped on this. Wow, they went as low as 280, and now they've already come back up to 293. So a lot of the smart money is going to buy these dips. The question is, will it dip again tomorrow? Tomorrow's a Friday. Like, what do you guys think? Like, tomorrow's a Friday. It's very likely we're going to be right again tomorrow. Friday, end of the month, it's the perfect storm. Probably going to be right again tomorrow, right? So you don't want to get caught buying something and then it goes down again tomorrow. What's up, Michelle Clark? How you doing? Let me just catch up to the chat here. Hey, Tree says, what's up, Rich? Now it's green's turn. Man, the green's been down for a long time. I think the green is dead right now. I think it's a bear market. I've been trying to tell people keep getting angry at me because they're cannabis enthusiasts, but they don't understand, like, I don't control the market, guys. I'm a cannabis enthusiast too. I want to win too. Look, we're down again. Down in the US, down in Canada. I just tell you guys the truth. Like, make it easy on yourself as an investor. You don't need this type of punishment where these are the only stocks that are up in a day when there's all these down. Why is that happening? People are pulling money out because they're scared of what's going on with the coronavirus. If it's affecting MasterCard, one of the most powerful companies in the world, which is pretty much like recession proof because everybody has credit cards, then it's going to affect everybody else. We're talking about some of the biggest, most powerful companies in the world. What about Apple? They've got exposure to China, tons of exposure to China. They've taken it on the chin. They've been coming down. I mean, they were up to 327. And now they're at 279. But they could go lower, guys. I mean, they've been on a tear. Everything's been on a tear, right? So they could go back to 170. Why not? So you don't want to get caught buying it if it's going to shoot down even more, because the reality is this coronavirus is just starting to spread now. So who's to say it's not going to go lower? Look at Shop. They've been on a tear. Now they're coming down. Everything that was on a tear is coming down. Look at Tesla. They were on a tear. Now they're coming down. Everything that's been on a tear is now coming down. Tesla's taking it on the chin hard, right? So you don't want to just buy something trying to guess the bottom, because we're in a very volatile market right now where it's very difficult to predict how these stocks are going to do. Here's another one. Virgin Galactic Holdings was on a tear, went as high as $42. Came down today as low as 19. That was the bottom, and now it's back to 22. But how do we know it's not going to go lower tomorrow? We don't. Nobody knows. Nobody knows 100% where it's going to go tomorrow. Nobody knows 100% where it's going to go tomorrow, because these markets are so volatile. Crypto Man says lots of red, but AEMD is up 35%. It is. Michelle Clark says, hi, everybody. Michelle Clark says, I just cannot understand why Italy is hit so hard. There's a lot of Asians in Italy. Probably people that traveled from the epicenter to Italy. Ryan Beaver says, have you done a comparison with timeline and infection with H1N1? No, I haven't. But that's not a bad idea. Michelle Clark says, this virus respects the border of North Korea. I mean, an outbreak is going to happen where an outbreak happens, right? So if it happens in South Korea, then it happens in South Korea. If it happens in North Korea, it's not about borders. I mean, we're having them here in Canada. You're having them in the US. You're having them in Korea. I mean, look at the countries. We're talking about a lot of countries that are now infected. Here's TDOC, one of my picks for February 2020. It's been a huge pick. Huge pick. Let's look at the last month. One of my great winners. I brought this to you guys first. And it's been up almost 40% this month. Not bad. And CODX was another of my picks for February 2020. CODX has been screaming, up 61% today. In the last, I did this video on at 270 right here, January 31st. January 31st. It was at 270 when I did my video. So let's say right there, 270, right there. 270 when I did my video, and today it's at 1437. So this was clearly my number one pick for February 2020. I just called it my 10th pick. Should have been my first. I should have moved the zero. I would have been laughing. You guys would have been laughing. But my number one pick was AEMD, and AEMD started on a tear in February, and then it got halted by the SEC because they were calling themselves a coronavirus stock, which everyone right now is talking about coronavirus stocks. They fixed it. Now they're back, and their high is, over the last month, is 432. They're at 258. I will not be surprised to see them reach these numbers again, and maybe even go way higher. But I don't know for sure. Like I said, I don't control the markets, guys. Always do your due diligence. Always do your research before you invest in anything we talk about here in Rich TV Live. I just want to bring you awareness. I just want to bring the research, the education, and the entertainment to the people. Another one that I talked to you guys about, NNVC, one of my top picks for February 2020. This one's been up and down. I mean, it's been as high as 17 in February. It's been as low as $5. I mean, sorry. What am I talking about? 1 month. Yeah, it's crazy. This one's been nuts. So it's been as high as $19.20 in the month, and it's been as low as $5. So if you're buying NNVC, you want to buy the dips, clearly. Get in at $5, and then when you see your profits, take them, right? Ride the waves. When you see your profits, take them. You know, if it starts to dip down, just get out. Take your money and run, guys. Always protect your equity. These markets are very volatile. Alberto Ramos says, everything just seems like consolidation from the melt-up. Yeah, that's possible. Could be consolidation from the melt-up. It could be fear of the coronavirus spreading. This news is everywhere. As you can see, gold just kind of went back into the green. Because people are going to look for somewhere to put their money, and gold just seems like the smart place right now. But it's risky still. So there's all kinds of news, like everywhere you see coronavirus. Look at the title. Dow slides into correction territory as stocks remain under pressure on coronavirus fears. You know, I'm not the only one talking about this, guys. Like, it's everywhere. Look, this stock has scored the biggest boost from the coronavirus outbreak, but the company has been out of business for years. Like, the coronavirus is making winners out of companies that have been losers, and losers out of companies that have been winners. So just understand that the market is highly volatile right now. Extremely dangerous. Let's take a look at this article here. Zoom Technologies trades on the OTC markets. Zoom Technologies. Zoom Technologies. So this company is up 51% today. Zoom Technologies, guys. Add it to your watch list. Add it to your radar. And apparently, they've been out of business for years, and people are just buying this by mistake, thinking it's Zoom. ZM. Zoom Video Communications. So Zoom Video Communications is up 5%, and they've been killing it. Holy smokes. Zoom's been killing it. Wow. Unbelievable. Up 5%. Look at their year. Been as low as 60, currently at 112. Highest is 118. So Zoom is on a tear. But people are buying Zoom technologies by mistake. Look, Zoom teleconferencing mania drives up the wrong stock as investors seek virus plays. Do you see that? People are buying this stock by mistake. People are making money by mistake in this market. Look at IBIO. Holy smokes. It's crazy, man. It's nuts. Alberto Ramos says, check out the bounce on Air Canada this morning, Rich. Air Canada. %1.8. Yeah, I had it drop to 31, and then it came back up to 35. I would stay away from airlines personally. Yes, Bitcoin is up. Okay, guys, I got to run. I got to go, but I'll come back later if there's any other big news that is happening, okay? Just wanted to bring you guys this news. Market is still very red, as you could see. 595 points is the Dow down. S&P 500 down 65 points. NASDAQ down 209 points. Global Dow down 74 points. Oil down $1.99 at 46.74. And gold is up slightly, 1.4 $1.40 at 1,644.50. So gold's the only thing in the green. Everything else is red. Coronavirus stocks are screaming, and that's kind of what's going on in the markets, guys. Coronavirus just keeps getting worse, keeps spreading, and that's why I think that the markets are very, very dangerous right now. As you can see, there's red everywhere, except for coronavirus stocks, which are just on fire. IBIO, one of the biggest winners of the day of the coronavirus stocks, up 128%. MRNA, one that I talked to you about yesterday, it was up big, went as high as $35. Now it has come back down, and now it's down 12%. That's some big news right there. That's crazy. See how this market is very volatile. Be careful with these coronavirus stocks, because if they come up with a cure, all these companies that are fighting for the cure, all of a sudden their stock could go down. If a company finds the cure, like GILD, which is leading the way, all of a sudden they could skyrocket. But GILD was in the green early, all of a sudden now they're in the red. So these markets are crazy. They're very volatile. They're very dangerous. I'll keep you guys updated on the biggest news that's happening. If you're not winning, you're not watching. This is your boy Rich from TV Live. Sorry, guys. Wish I could come to all your guys' messages, but I got to run. I'm out. Peace. We bleeding. We bleeding. Bleed.